Sometimes I just feel like sharing my thoughts on something when I just have like these thoughts that are on my mind and I just want to share what I'm thinking. And these videos are usually videos where I just talk for an extended period of time about anything. And today's topic will be Kobe Bryant. And I understand this isn't a sports channel, but I just finished watching Kobe Bryant's last game. And I have a lot of things I want to say about Kobe, the game, and his career as a whole. So, just as a little bit of a backstory, when I was watching this game, it was actually more like 60% of the game because I was like switching back and forth between the Warriors, trying to have 73 wins and also Kobe Bryant's final game. And I was watching about, I'd say, halfway through the Warriors game, and I was starting to focus on it because Kobe was playing really bad in the beginning of the Lakers game. And when I started seeing Steph Curry just hitting threes left and right, and then I saw Klay Thompson hitting threes left and right, I'm like, yeah, the Grizzlies aren't going to come back from this. They were like down by 20-something points. I'm like, there's no way the Grizzlies are going to win this. Not at home in Oakland, and not with the Warriors having that much on their side. And when Steph Curry starts getting it going and Klay Thompson has it going, there's no way you're pretty much going to win. When they're hot, good luck trying to beat them. So I tuned off the Warriors game and I started looking at the Lakers game, and I noticed that the game started getting a little bit closer. I'm like, okay, well, this is a somewhat competitive game. And then when I saw Kobe had 30-something points, I'm like, whoa. He was struggling the last time I was watching this because he was like in the first quarter, he was really struggling to hit his shots. And as I saw the game go on, I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. Like, Kobe is going off. And the game kept going on and on and on. And Kobe's at 40-something points with, like a full four-quarter ahead of him. And I'm like, this is not happening right now. Like, I felt like I was watching, like, a possessed Kobe game. And when Kobe's possessed, good luck guarding him. And even though he didn't shoot the most efficiently from the floor, I mean, he did take 50 shots, he was still hitting. He was still like dominating the game. And the thing that made this game so awesome is that the Lakers had absolutely nothing to lose. They weren't going to the playoffs, and the Jazz were recently eliminated from the playoff contention with the Rockets winning. So both teams had nothing to lose. This was just a fun game. Kobe knew his team wasn't going to the playoffs. Kobe knew his team wasn't going to go compete for a championship. So basically it was a YOLO game, and his teammates basically gave him the greenest light you could possibly think of, and Kobe just started shooting. I mean, 50 shots is a pretty big testament of, just having a green light. And after the game, and after I saw Kobe started hitting those clutch shots in the fourth quarter, I'm starting to say to myself, the Jazz were holding back. And it took me a while because I was watching some highlights again. You could see with some of the defensive lapses that the Jazz were taking some plays off to let Kobe go off. Because what are the Jazz going to do? This is Kobe's night. How bad would it make Kobe and the Lakers look for him to lose in his last NBA game? You can tell in the fourth quarter the Jazz took their foot off the gas pedal. And the funny thing is, I don't care. And I'll tell you more about myself and Kobe in just a second. But remembering this game first will always be memorable because I was so shocked at the fact that Kobe can score 60 with everybody expecting him to, play like an old man. Some people thinking he couldn't do it anymore. And Kobe scores the most points that any NBA player has had this entire season. That is a statement game. And it's a testament to Kobe's career because Kobe, although he might not always have scored the most points or sometimes his shot wasn't falling, Kobe always brought his A game. Always. Whenever it matters, whenever it's a game of importance, Kobe always brought it. And sometimes NBA players don't hit their shots, but Kobe brought his game. And I will never forget for the rest of my young life this game that Kobe Bryant had, because to drop 60 when so many people are watching you. I heard people saying 10 million people were watching him in just China alone. I mean, it was like a Super Bowl type atmosphere for watching Kobe's Mamba Day parade. And to see Kobe go out like that, man, I can never forget this moment. It was just so special. So enough about the game. Let me just talk really quickly about my memories of Kobe, and then I'll go into summing up his career. I'm not a Kobe Bryant fan. I'm a Miami Heat fan. For those of you who don't know, Dwayne Wade has always been my favorite player. So the funny thing is, I was never really a big fan of Kobe Bryant, but that's not to say I don't respect his game. I always wanted Dwayne Wade to be the best two guard in the league, and then when LeBron joined the Heat, I obviously wanted LeBron and Wade to be like the number one guys in the league, because they were obviously on my team. And, that's not to say I hated Kobe, but he just wasn't my particularly favorite player. He kind of, came off with somewhat of a snazzy attitude. He wasn't your typical heroic type of, NBA player like Steph Curry or Dwayne Wade, who are like these really clean guys. Kobe, had some baggage to himself. He had the whole thing, going back many years, which I'll explain more. But, growing up watching Kobe was always that one guy that had something to give every game. And I remember back in the 08-09 season where the Heat were playing against the Lakers, we fought them hard in LA. It looked like we were going to win that game. And then Kobe pulls up for like this 40-something foot off-balance three-point shot, and he banks it in. And I'm like, I did not just see that. We got Kobe'd, And it kind of reminds me of all these commercials we were seeing recently. I think I saw one commercial where he was like doing this orchestra where Kobe Bryant's like a band conductor, and like all the fans are coming out of the arena and they're like, I hated you. And then you see some NBA players like Paul Pierce talking about how much they hated Kobe. And it's truly a testament to his career. Kobe Bryant, although he was loved, he also had a lot of haters. Kobe's one of those opposite side players. You either love him more or you hate him more. There's no in between with Kobe. It's kind of like the Dallas Cowboys. You hate the Cowboys or you love them. You can't have a plus minus relationship with the Cowboys. Same thing with the Patriots. You hate them or you love them. So the way I look at Kobe, he was the villain, and he was saying this in his press conference about how, he finds it funny that people were always telling him in his career that he needs to pass more, and then on his final game, people want him to, shoot more, and I thought that was really funny because that truly is a testament to his career. And growing up as a kid watching Kobe, he had this awe about him. Every time he stepped into a game, you're like, oh boy. Like he gave you like this level of fear. He struck fear into his opponents. Like when Kobe starts getting it going, he can turn an entire game around by himself. And there aren't that many guys that can do that. Yeah, stars can, turn a game around for stretches, but a superstar can literally carry a team on his back for entire quarters and sometimes games. And Kobe had that ability that when he got it going and when he had a rhythm, he was nearly impossible to guard. The only person that could guard him is himself. Kobe had some games where he just shot too much and he didn't shoot a very effective percentage, but he was like an ongoing force. Even if he's missing, he's going to keep coming at you over and over and over again. He was like a relentless force, and it had some of its cons, which takes me to, looking at his career as a whole. So Kobe Bryant obviously was drafted out of high school. He came into the NBA really early. He was drafted by the Hornets that traded him to the Lakers. And in his rookie season, he wasn't that dominant. He scored like 5 to 7 points a game. He showed flashes of potential, but he wasn't the player he was. His second year was better, but he still wasn't like a star until his third and fourth years in the league. And when Shaq came around, funny thing is, Kobe Bryant was a sidekick. And he won championships in an extremely early part of his young career. So most guys go through their entire careers and, only winning a few championships. Kobe won 3 championships at a very young age, which really, sets up his level of maturity and what he wants. And then he had the whole Shaq feud. Kobe Bryant's the type of guy who was really dedicated to, playing basketball, whereas his teammates were, wanted to socialize more, and he wasn't the most social teammate. He was there strictly to win basketball games, and that's why he didn't get along with Shaq, because obviously Shaquille O'Neal's a goofy, funny guy, very loved by the media, and Kobe considered him lazy in many assets. So, they trade Shaquille O'Neal away to my team, the Miami Heat, and then the Miami Heat obviously contend for a title for a few years, win a championship. And during that time, the Lakers had some down years. They weren't a very good team for a little while. But then near the late 2000s, they traded away Kwame Brown, made a big trade to bring in Pau Gasol, and the Lakers are suddenly contenders again. And, they go up against, the Orlando Magic. Oh, well, first they go up against the Boston Celtics and then they lose. And then they go play the Magic the next year. Kobe plays pretty well in the finals. And then the year after that, they play against the Boston Celtics again. And although Kobe didn't play that well in Game 7, Metta World Peace and Pau Gasol really played that well in that game, Kobe did enough in that series to give him a Finals MVP. So he gets revenge against Boston, and funny thing is enough, Kobe didn't live up to expectations the next year. LeBron and Chris Bosh come to Miami. The Miami Heat have a whole big three. And everybody and people forget how time flies, because I lived through these times and I was a younger guy. I'm still a pretty young guy, so I remember these things vividly. I remember when LeBron and Chris Bosh came to Miami, everybody was saying that it was going to be a Heat and Lakers finals. Everybody was saying it. The Lakers had won the years before. People were expecting the Heat to come out of the East, and that would have been... I cannot think about the Titanic ratings that would have taken place if LeBron and Kobe had met in the finals with Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, Pat Riley, Phil Jackson. I mean, you have superstar coaches, you have superstar players, you have superstar franchises, because, Miami and LA are very attractive places. The potential was so much, and the Lakers, they flame out against the Dallas Mavericks, and they get swept. And I don't remember the exact number, but the Lakers, I remember in that closeout game against the Mavericks, I don't remember the number off the top of my head, but the Mavericks shot an insane amount of three-pointers. That's what I remember about the game. It was like almost every possession they were just shooting threes. It was crazy. The Mavericks were red hot. The Mavericks get to the finals, beat the Heat. Life moves on. So what happens the year after? The Lakers are still a pretty good team. They go to the playoffs, and then they lose to the Oklahoma City Thunder. Then from here on into Kobe's career, things went downhill. So they bring in Dwight Howard, Steve Nash, Metta World Peace, and Pau Gasol already there, and everybody's expecting the Lakers to have this, super team. And everybody, once again, is saying it's going to be Heat and Lakers once again. I mean, the Heat and Lakers were supposed to have a finals match, and it just never happened. And the Cavs and the Lakers were supposed to have a finals match, and it just never happened. And, funny enough, Dwight Howard doesn't get along with Kobe. Kobe gets injured. The Lakers get swept by the Spurs in the first round. Everybody saw that coming. And then this is where I start to consider the downside of Kobe's career. Kobe makes a hell of a lot of money, comes back, after rehabbing in the offseason, he pops his knee. And it sucks because Kobe was trying to come back and make a statement. Dwight Howard left. Everybody knew the Lakers weren't going anywhere. Everybody knew even if Kobe was there, they weren't going to win. And Kobe gets injured. And then he comes back the year after, and then he tears his rotator cuff, and then he comes back this year, and then he's a complete shell of himself. And it's like the whole Lakers organization is just discombobulated. They have a lot of young guys with a bunch of old guys. There seems to be no chemistry. As Magic Johnson said, they have so many guys that basically do the same thing on the same team, and it just seems like the Lakers are just a mess. And in all honesty, a lot of people blame Kobe for taking that money. I personally don't, because it's not fair to blame Kobe for that, because it's like they offered him the money. What is he going to just throw away? What was the contract? Like $25 million a year? I mean, who would turn that down? And I thought it was just unfair, because the Lakers were using Kobe to sell tickets. They had nothing to really offer the fans. What they should have been doing is Kobe should have retired and let the young players develop. They stink up for a few years, get some good draft picks, and then, make a competitive team again. That's what the Lakers should have done. Trade away Pau Gasol. There were so many Pau Gasol rumors, and I'm sure you guys, re-listening to this video will remember. The Pau Gasol trade rumors were almost ridiculous. I mean, it seemed like every week he was in a trade rumor, and it never happened. And I would understand if I was Pau. I wouldn't want to be there if every few weeks you're hearing a trade rumor. And, they just became a mess, man. And a lot of people want to blame the Buss family for it, and they are to blame for some degree. especially Jim Buss. He made some horrible personal decisions that just didn't help the team out, like hiring D'Antoni instead of Phil Jackson and, firing Mike Brown after a few games. I mean, it was just making horrible decisions. And honestly, I think that with everything else said, Kobe, he had a great career. The last few years of his career were bad, and I just think that the Lakers have to use, their young core. I think Randall, Larry Nance Jr., D'Angelo Russell, Jordan Clarkson. I think some of these guys have potential. I don't think we don't know enough about them yet. They're really young guys. I mean, Julius Randle's basically a rookie because he got injured the first game of his career. So, they're young guys and they have a lot to prove. And I think that they can build something if, the Lakers can support them well. But Kobe needs to go. Kobe... I mean, Jim Buss even, I think it was Jim Buss or Mitch Kupchak who said it, like they said that the whole year was about Kobe's retirement. They didn't even really care about competing. They knew they weren't going to be a good team, but people went to the arena just to see Kobe. And when I saw all those celebrities there, supporting Kobe it was just a testament to how great his career was. So at the end of the day, guys, I'm not a Kobe fan, but whether you love or you hate Kobe Bryant, you can't take away the greatness that he displayed throughout his career. Yes, he terrorized many teams in the playoffs. Yes, he broke many people's hearts. And at the end of the day, if you look at the whole scandals he had with the whole rape scandal in Colorado and him cheating on his wife and, the whole thing with Shaq and then, the whole thing about how Kobe just doesn't get along with his players, he's had ups and downs from a personal standpoint. But the fact that this guy has gone through so much turmoil in his career, getting rid of Phil Jackson, bringing Phil Jackson back and all of this, it truly is a testament that this guy is a complete warrior. He went through all of that and his mental strength is very, very, very high. I've never seen an athlete outside of maybe Russell Westbrook, who's pretty close, who has the mental strength of Kobe. Like if you take any athlete and with insane talent and mix them with Kobe's mental strength and his ferocity, his tenacity, his ability to just will himself through a game and to be a force, I think you can make a perfect athlete with that mentality. So with everything else said, this Mamba Day was great. It sucks to see Kobe go, and I'm saying this as a guy who wasn't his biggest fan, but, I'm sure we'll always remember Kobe. He was one of the greats. He didn't, in my opinion, he wasn't better than Michael Jordan. I think Jordan was a better defender, a more athletic. I think he was a better efficient scorer. Maybe Kobe was a better three-point shooter, but I mean, I think Jordan was a better player. He didn't surpass Jordan, and in my opinion, I don't think he's better than LeBron, and that's another topic for another day, but you know what? Kobe's still great, and I think what this day shows is that even if Kobe didn't, live up to being better than those guys, he's still one of the greatest players to ever play. He's one of the greatest Lakers to ever play, and the guy's a legend. So I hope you guys like this extended video about Kobe. I know this is a Dragon Ball channel or an anime channel and video game channel, so it's not going to get that many views, but I don't care. And since this video is not going to get a lot of, views and comments, share your thoughts, guys. Please don't be shy. Please don't be shy. I'm going to be extremely active in this comment section, having conversations with you guys, because I want to hear your thoughts. What are your memories of Kobe? What do you remember the most about his career? What do you remember about, his off-the-court issues, like the rape scandal, the Shaq thing? I want to hear all of your thoughts, guys. And even if it's just a few of us who talk about this, I'm going to have a lot of fun, and I look forward to discussing this with you in the comment section below. So before I go, please check out Awol's channel. He does a lot of sports discussions on his channel, and I'll actually be a guest in many of his future videos, so please stay tuned for him, for his channel, because I do a lot of videos with him already, and I hope you guys enjoyed. So most importantly, over everything else, please remember to rate, comment, and subscribe, and remember, as I always say, to have a great day, guys. And for today's hashtag of the day, I have this: Kobe being the Mamba. I think that's a pretty good hashtag. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and adios, my amigos.